Alright, it's Tribulation, day 27. The Tribulation continues. Just want to, say I'm back online. Man, what a tribulation. My internet was basically shut off, which to me is a sign of the tribulation. Economically, man, the world, the U.S. is in just really bad shape. Everybody's, just trying to stay above water, surviving, just day to day, check to check. But as a result of it, most companies out there, whether it's banks or the phone companies or whoever, they're not cutting any slack to anybody. They got the government regulating them now, handcuffing their ability to run their companies to where they can make the money they need to make. But either way, in the past where you could maybe be a month late with a bill, you're lucky if you could be 2 days late. With the computers, boom, they shut you off. So, this past week, I basically had to, set up a new ISP provider. So, from this point on, hopefully I'll get these logs coming out every day. But man, I basically switched from AT&T, and AT&T, I don't like them, but basically they show no mercy at this point. I'm on Comcast using my cable to access the internet, but it was kind of interesting, I had to go down to the Comcast service center, and man, it was just overflowing with people returning their DVRs and equipment because they can no longer afford the deluxe package, of all the premium channels and whatnot. Everybody's getting to the point now where it's like, hey, you got to make choices between paying the rent or eating and all this other stuff, that we used to spend our money on. There's no money, so, our whole nation as a whole, we're being reduced to a third world nation. But, on the bright side, the whole world is basically collapsing in on itself. Really not a whole lot of good news out there. The Middle East is just bonkers, man. Syria is killing all sorts of civilians. Our president, Obama, gave us this great speech on how we got to stand up and help people. When he sent our troops into Libya, where that's a big mess, where he said, oh, it'll only take a couple days, and it's now been like 2 months, and it's just nasty, man. NATO's already, running out of, supplies, and the U.S. is inevitably going to have to go in and clean up that whole mess. That's why him trying to transfer it to NATO was a big joke anyway. But man, the Middle East, in Syria with all the killing, in Yemen people are dying, and yet Obama's really doing nothing. So why we even went into Libya is kind of questionable. I don't see no peace and any democracy breaking out anywhere. What I see is Al-Qaeda taking over Yemen. I see dictators killing people and staying in power. I see Israel getting confronted more and more on a daily basis. And, there's even more crazy stuff coming right in the next week or so. So, I think it's all leading up to something even bigger. The E. coli outbreak in Western Europe, they're saying it's bean sprouts. Right. I think either A, this could be happening naturally. It could be a sign of the fact that we're just polluting and destroying our planet, so germs and bacteria are mutating. Or what, it could even be some kind of biological warfare, but our government would never tell us the truth. And speaking of never telling the truth, we got the Wiener Gate, where that son of a bitch gets up and lies to the American public. And what, they've been taking some polls, and the people in his district, they don't care. They're like, hey, let's just keep him in office. And what, that's a sign of the end, when there is no truth out there. Just, it doesn't even matter if you're telling the truth. I don't even know why I should vote, man. I stopped voting for a bunch of years because that whole Democratic Republican thing, that's just a distraction to keep us, diverted to not see what's really going on. And the weather is just insane. We got the wildfires out there in Arizona. We got flooding all across the United States. We've got a heat wave. They got where the weather goes from being 105 down to 70 degrees in the same day. Killer thunderstorms over there on the East Coast in Connecticut. In England, all around the world, man. There's droughts and floods, and I'm just waiting for the next big earthquake to hit too, because that's coming. And volcanoes have been going off. So, I hate to say it, but, buy some extra rice, get a bunch of canned goods, because the food shortages are going to be coming. They're coming. I'm hungry already just thinking about it. On the positive side, people are taking action. I kind of like what Glenn Beck's doing, the thing in Israel, just trying to stand up and say, hey, you know what, we're going to support you guys. What if it actually accomplishes anything? We'll have to see. But Glenn Beck, hey, God bless you and good luck on your endeavors, man. His show's going off the air in a bit, which it's kind of unfortunate, but he's definitely trying to up his game and actually be more of a positive force. And that's what I'm going to be trying to do, is be more of a positive force. It's tough. But, the sun shines still. There are good things happening in the world, too. But it just seems like we're really headed towards darker days. The whole debt crisis, I don't think our government's going to do anything about that, so whatever repercussions are going to happen are going to happen, and, basically, we've all been pushed into debt ourselves, whether it's our home loans or student loans or our credit cards. So, I'll tell you this much, in the Bible, God created a system, the Jubilee system, where, every 50 years you got to forgive all debt. And the reason is because, humans left to our own demise, we'll enslave ourselves, and it's done through debt, and I don't think we can break that cycle. Why? Because there's just greedy people, and I'm not against people making a lot of money. I'm not a communist either, but I do believe there are some just obscenely wealthy people in this world. Like one of Obama's best buddies, Warren Buffett, and the spooky dude, as Glenn Beck would call him. But there's others, Bill Gates is obscenely rich, Steve Jobs, a guy that I admire, man. I worked at Apple, and he was the guy that I just, totally wanted to be. But, what's he doing with all his money, But, that's how it works. A few people have all the money and the vast majority of us have none. And at the same time, like in the Middle East, it's all the starving poor people that are the most easily manipulated into some kind of diabolical form of enslavement, call it communism, call it, whatever you want. But that's kind of how it goes down. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to, go out and get my tribulation on. I'm going to maybe be adding some more content. I have a friend of mine that wants to add some stuff to the Tribulation website, and, now I'm trying to get all that up to speed as well. And, welcome to the new subscribers and anybody that's following the progress of the Tribulation here. And, keep the faith and keep on rocking. I'll try and be a little more specific on the next few video blogs and talk about some specific things, but I just wanted to get up and get a video blog up because I'm now kind of back in action for now. So keep it real and keep on rocking too, man. Rocking in the free world.